It's hard to say. Time passes differently here in the TVA.
What does that mean?
You'll catch up.
Welcome back to another video. Did you know that there are countless Easter eggs Marvel Studios hid from us in the last Loki trailer? One of them even gives out how the movie might end. Keep on watching to find out all the hints that Marvel gave us for their next movie. Before we continue, we would like to thank everyone that supports our channel. If you are new, don't forget to subscribe as we post daily videos of your favorite TV shows and films. So anyway, let's get back to talking about those Easter eggs, shall we? Some of you have spotted some interesting eggs in the Loki trailer, but most of them were missed altogether, including the scene where Loki was a part of what seemed to be real historical events. Easter eggs appear after Loki grabs the Tesseract. The very first Easter egg that we spot during the trailer is after Loki grabs the Tesseract. So whatever he did from that point on, we will be filled with hints and mysteries that Marvel left behind for us to solve. In the first Easter egg, we can see that Loki is mirroring Tony Stark in Iron Man 1. Nothing is exactly known about the location. However, we have made a couple of guesses as to where this is, and it's important to find out that the hats that were a part of the scene gave us the impression that Loki is probably in the Southeast Asia region, maybe in Tibet. After the title card plays, with all the letters floating in the background, there are possibly made with the powers of green screen. You might realize that this scene is meant to invoke a couple of images from the Matrix. If you look closer, you might see a futuristic looking building here. This probably originally is the Marriott Marquis in downtown Atlanta. The elevator panels. The next Easter egg we are going to talk about is in the elevator scene. There are plenty of eggs hidden in this scene, with the very first one being the elevator panels, where they had different floors. Instead, these floors look like they have arbitrary labeled timelines. Okay, so there were a lot of letters and numbers on the elevator buttons, but if you're willing to spend a year translating their meaning, if they even have one, then go ahead. Anyway, even though we know you are excited to find every single thing out about Loki's trailer, we advise you to not make heads and tails out of what is written on the elevator buttons. Because believe me, we tried, and there was not a lot to be found, but there was a thing or two that stuck in our minds for a handful of reasons. The first elevator button we would like to talk about is FHF. We can think this is tied to the Spider-Man Far From Home timeline. After all, Marvel did mention the multiverse and Mysterio. Another one we would like to talk about is the big X and XN1. Maybe this is linked to the X-Men timeline followed by the X-Men Origins timeline. Whether these assumptions are true or not, each floor in the building is meant to be a different timeline. Owen Wilson's introduction. Okay, so there are a few more Easter eggs that were part of Owen Wilson's introduction. Many of you have even called him the undisclosed character. But if you ever become confused about these low-profile characters in trailers, the subtitles of the trailer will most likely help tell you who is talking. In our case, the person talking is Owen Wilson. The trailer revealed that Wilson will be playing Mobius M. Mobius for the Time Variance Authority. We even have thought whether or not the letters stamped in front of Loki's jumpsuit might be some kind of Easter egg in the trailer. TVA are the letters written, and we're guessing that they give us more than just one hint other than just being Time Variance Authority. They give us a hint that Loki will most likely represent a prisoner in the movie, rather than a supernatural human with superpowers. The meaning behind Mobius. Another very important Easter egg in the trailer is hidden behind the character of Mobius. The first hint we can lead this to is the name August Ferdinand Mobius. August was a German theoretical astronomer and mathematician who introduced projective geometry from homogeneous coordinates. Besides that, he was also possessed with finding out a way to time travel, so this is Marvel trying to tell us something. However, this might not be the first time you ever heard this name in the Marvel movie. Mobius was also involved at the beginning of the Avenger Endgame movie when the mathematician was mentioned by Tony Stark, when he was attempting to crack the mystery behind when the time travel asked for an inverted Mobius strip, the way Owen Wilson is portrayed in the trailer. This Easter egg is linked to what the character played by Owen Wilson originally looks like in the comic books. TVA was created by the legendary Walt Simonson and Cel Postma. The whole TVA thing paid homage to continuity expert and longtime Marvel writer Mark Greenwald. This is also the reason all the staff of TVA were somehow clones of Mark Greenwald. This is ironic because Greenwald used to have full responsibility for checking if the continuity stayed together in the Marvel studio. This led to creators to make a similar character in the comics that eventually made all the other Timeline Variance Authority characters look alike. And if you think about it, the whole thing sounds and looks pretty hilarious. The hooded figure might be a female version of Loki. In the next part of the trailer, things switch up a bit and take quite a different turn. It gets weirder and you're probably confused as to what's happening during those scenes. The thing that has made us very confused is who all these different people are. However, looking deeper into the original League photos, the people that look like they are in some sort of black costume in the trailer are the men in blue and silver armor. These people are the troops of Time Variance Authority. But we still have one question, and that is who the person behind the hooded dark figure is. The purpose of the trailer is not to reveal who this character is, and Marvel sure has tried its best to keep it all secret. But we have figured it all out. If you don't like spoilers, go ahead and skip this part, because we're about to reveal a big chunk here. The person behind the dark hooded figure is not a man, but it is the female version of Loki. Weird, right? Yeah, we were shocked when we found this out too. The meaning behind the three faces. Another thing we'd like to point out here is the three faces that appear on the wall just a few seconds after the scene with the figure in the hoodie. After the faces appear, we come across three white statues. We're not sure as to what exactly Marvel is trying to tell us here. Thinking about it, the trailer gives it a lot of importance. Maybe they do not represent anything and this is just a way for Marvel to fill in the trailer and not reveal anything at the same time. However, this is likely not the case, as we're talking about a big budget film here, and these films do not joke with us. The only thing we can link these three faces with is the Ode to the Living Tribunal. If that is the case, it will be interesting to see what happens next. Rock's cart appears in the background. You will quickly realize that behind the next scene, you will see Rock's cart written somewhere in the background, and you will even see it again on a panel of a store. This is originally an ode to Roxxon Marvel Comics Company, but we're still unclear as to what role they will have in the movie, if they even have any. The reason why they put Rock's cart in the background might also be just to remind viewers of the legendary comics. Black Widow sitting in a purple environment. Okay, we wouldn't end this video without mentioning this scene in the trailer. Here, we can see what looks like Black Widow sitting in an unusual environment that is completely purple. The whole scene looks like it is an eau de vermeer feeling to it. If you pause the trailer on this scene a couple of times, you can see that Black Widow is in a different timeline. After further inspection, we're guessing that the scene takes place in what seems to be a destroyed version of New York City. We can also spot an Avengers Tower in the background of this scene. Probably there is something really bad happening in this part, but we do not want to further our predictions as we do not have a clear narrative about what is happening here. Loki being set up to be an American heister. This is our favorite part of the trailer. Loki is being set up in this part to hold a bag of money and jump off a plane with a parachute. This is also the last part of the trailer and it includes it all. The bag of money, the police, the parachute, giving us the clear image that they will be setting up Loki to be some kind of American heister. The part strongly reminds us of Dan Cooper. Dan was a famous heister that never got caught. He hijacked a plane in 1971 and stole $200,000. Both Dan and Loki are similar to each other from the way they dress and the actions they take. Don't forget that Loki is also a part of the 70s after he landed in an unknown place in a different timeline. This highly resembles Dan Cooper as he jumps off a plane after demanding 2 parachutes and disappeared, never to be found again. What other Easter eggs did you spot in the trailer? Let us know so we can add them in another video and give you an explanation about them. If you enjoyed this video and want more Marvel-inspired videos like this, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification button to be the first one to get the latest updates. As always, thank you for watching.